As yet, they hadn't noticed him. He drew the door shut without entering, and then he walked rapidly off, across the lot and around the side of the place, to the parked pickup truck. Too large, too modern, too lit up, too full of people. Is this the last stage of my mental difficulty? Suspicion of people, of groups, and human activity, color and life and noise? I shun them, he thought. Perversely, seeking the dark. Back in the darkness, he felt his way up into the truck, switched on the engine, and then, with the lights still off, backed around until the truck faced the highway. During a break in the traffic, he drove out into the first lane. Again, he found himself in motion, heading away from town. In somebody else's truck. A gas station attendant whom he had never seen before in his life. I'm stealing his truck, he realized. But what else can I do? I know they are conspiring against me. The two soldiers, the attendant, plotting against me. The bus depot too. The cab driver. Everybody. I can't trust anyone. They sent me off in this truck to get picked up by the first highway cop that came cruising by. Probably the back end of the truck lights up and reads Russian spy. A sort of paranoia kick me, he thought. Yes, he thought. I'm the man with the kick me sign pinned on him. No matter how hard he tries, he can't whirl around fast enough to see it. But his intuition tells him it's there. He watches other people and gauges their actions. He infers from them what they do. He infers that the sign is there because he sees them lining up to kick him. I'm not entering any brightly lit places. I'm not starting conversations with people I don't know. There are no genuine strangers when it comes to me. Everybody knows me. They're either a friend or an enemy. Hello, my friends, and welcome once again to stately Vaughan Manor. And today we're going to be talking about Time Out of Joint by Philip K. Dick. This is one of the earlier Philip K. Dick novels. This came out in 1959. And it tells an interesting story, and it's a tremendous study in paranoia, among other things. So this is the first book I read from my big box of science fiction that came from eBay. I vowed I would read every one of those books, and there were 100 in them, 100 in there, more I think. But I've got even more vintage science fiction than that. So this is going to be a long project, reading all these books, and this is the first one, and it was a really good one to start with. These old paperbacks, you can't do a better synopsis than what they usually put on the back, so I'm just going to read this to you real quick to give you a sense of what this book is about. Raggle Gum was his name. He lived at his brother-in-law's house, and people thought the way he earned his living was peculiar. You see, he had a mathematical genius which he used to solve complicated puzzles, appearing in each day's newspaper. Then, almost imperceptibly, one day his equations took over and started changing the natural order of things, until he and everybody around him was caught in a spinning, incredible vortex of fear, hate, greed, and lust, in a world where time was out of joint. So yeah, this book is about Raggle Gum, guy living at his brother-in-law's house, doesn't have a regular job, but he makes a fair amount of money doing this newspaper puzzle every day. I guess this is a thing that they had back in the 50s. They would have newspaper puzzles, and you would send in an answer to the puzzle, and if you got the answer right, you would win some money. So that's what Raggle Gum does, and he's the best at this one particular puzzle. Every day he works like crazy to figure out the puzzle, and he's amazingly successful, and he's sort of famous because of it. But this is a Philip K. Dick novel, so you know reality is going to come crumbling down. You have the perfect 1950s scene in this book, but there are odd things about it. There are inconsistencies, and there are just some strange omissions. There's some oddities in the version of the 1950s which Philip K. Dick is writing about. And eventually Raggle Gum starts to pick up on things that maybe reality isn't quite what he thought it was. And he starts to become very paranoid, and he's not the only one. This is one of those books I don't want to give too much away, because you want to read this book, Time Out of Joint. It's possible that even if you're a science fiction fan, you might have missed this, because it is an older work by Philip K. Dick. It's not one of his big ones from the 60s and 70s, which every big science fiction fan has read. A lot of his books from the 50s, sometimes they get missed. And it would be a shame if this one did. It is a lot like a really cool episode of The Twilight Zone. Like a really deep, really complicated episode of The Twilight Zone. It has that feel to it, where things start off kind of normal and things just take a turn. And you don't get a solution to what's going on for quite a while. There's like a gradual progression. And this is not a long book. Which is this? It's 175 pages. But he still manages to set a really good pace so that things gradually become weirder and weirder and weirder. And by the end of this, you do get the answers to all the questions that pop up in here. You do get a solution to the strange puzzle of what's going on with reality. It's not what they're alluding to on the cover, on the back cover of this copy. It is something very different. Yeah, actually the cover of this novel is very appropriate to the material inside. This book is pretty cool, and I really highly recommend this book. I had a really good time with it. If you like Philip K. Dick, definitely you're going to have to check this out. If you like kind of reality bending stories, you definitely want to check this out. This is really well plotted, not overly complex, but complex enough. You kind of think you know what's going on, but you probably don't. And then maybe you do, and then you kind of don't. It has a lot of twists and turns in it. But by the end of it, this is one of those books. By the end of it, it's one of those books where it's like, oh, okay, that all made sense. You know, by the end of it, it's like, oh, okay, that does make sense. So yeah, this is a good one. Time Out of Joint by Philip K. Dick from 1959. An interesting book. I highly recommend it. So yeah, there you go. So thank you for stopping by once again here at Stately Vaughan Manor. Come by again tomorrow when we do our Sunday Penguin. It's another surprise Sunday Penguin. What will it be? Drop by here tomorrow at the Manor and find out. Okay, guys. You guys have a great day.